regular meeting of the Anniston City Council. At this time, I will call on Councilmember Roberts, who will lead us in the invocation, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Most holy and gracious Father, in the once more, we're gathered here to conduct the business of the Anniston City Council. Lord, we ask that you watch over us as we conduct the city's business, Lord. Please create in our us a clean heart where we may not have any hurt, harm, or hatred toward anyone. Lord, guide us through these meetings, guide us through our lives. When we leave this place, Lord, let us arrive back at our various day places to find our loved ones in better conditions than we were when we left them. These and other things we ask in your Son, Jesus' name we pray. Say amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Will the clerk please call the roll for the establishment of the vote?
Councilmember Jenkins?
Yes.
Councilmember Roberts?
here.
Councilmember Smith?
Here.
Councilmember Harris?
Present.
Mayor Draper?
Here, a quorum is established. Is there a motion to waive the reading of and approve the minutes of the January 5th regular meeting?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Present.
Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Jenkins?
Yes.
Councilmember Roberts?
Here. Yes.
Councilmember Smith?
Yes.
Councilmember Harris?
Yes.
Mayor Draper?
I will abstain as I was not present at that meeting. And again, I want to thank Councilmember Smith for very capably leading the meeting last 2 weeks ago. I appreciate that very much. You did a great job. Okay, Mr. Folks, are there any additions or deletions to the agenda?
No, sir.
I will move then that we adopt the agenda as presented. Is there a second?
Second.
Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Jenkins?
Yes.
Councilmember Roberts?
Yes.
Councilmember Smith?
Yes.
Councilmember Harris?
Yes.
Mayor Draper?
Yes, the agenda is adopted. The first item on the agenda tonight, we're actually receiving public comments on 2 matters. The first of those is to receive public comments overruling objections to the abatement of identified nuisances caused by unsafe building structures or construction. That'd be group 2020-07, unsafe structures. I will, for purposes of calling the hearing, I will read those addresses now. 1107 Noble Street, 21 East 11th Street, 1011 Moore Avenue, 24 West 10th Street, and 1331 Noble Street. At this time, I will open a public hearing to receive public comments as to those addresses. Does anyone wish to be heard? And Ms. Bryant is coming forward to the podium, the code compliance officer.
Yes, sir. I received a letter today from Mike Burdett, who has 24 East 10th Street. He is requesting an extension to do some, he may have somebody interested in the building, but he was not here tonight due to COVID concerns. So we are considering granting an extension of time. If it's okay with the council, he asked until April because of COVID and trying to get people to do things and that. Is that agreeable with council?
So would it be your recommendation then?
And that would be my recommendation, to grant him until April with strict guidelines that he has to have an architect. He has to show us that he is moving forwards with his plan and not just letting us know.
And council going to stipulate the second meeting in April, so we can actually eliminate the second meeting in April.
Second meeting in April. Okay, so at the time that we consider this resolution, which would be B, I will entertain a motion to amend removing 24 West 10th Street from that which is being considered until the second meeting in April. Okay?
That would be good, thank you.
Anything else, Ms.
No,
Martin?
not on these.
Okay. Does anyone wish to be heard as to the properties I just read in the record? Hearing none, I will now close that public hearing. Our second is to receive public comments overruling objections to the abatement of identified nuisances 2020-07 grass, debris, and vehicles. I will now read those affected addresses into the record. That would be 417 West 4th Street, 610 East 22nd Street, 701 Mulberry Avenue, 820 Old Gaston Highway, 801 East 22nd Street, 1930 Davis Avenue, 2921 Moore Avenue, 2929 Moore Avenue, and 3025 Moore Avenue. Does anyone wish to be heard as to those affected addresses? Yes, ma'am. If you would, please step forward to the microphone, and if you would, please state your name and address for our record.
Yes, sir. Chanel Carter, 1930 Davis Avenue.
Okay.
Yes, sir. There was a note put on my truck, and it has been taken since then, but my car and my RV, I didn't know that they needed to be moved. But I had planned on moving them, but I had just had my son in December of 19. My mom passed away in January, and then COVID hit, so I've been kind of struggling trying to get everything where it needed to be. So if I had just a little bit more time, I'm selling the car, but I'm gonna move my RV to my in-laws house if I had just a little bit more time to get everything situated.
Ms. Bryant, you have a recommendation?
That's fine. I'll, visit with her, seeing what she needs as far as time. I do have a contract with me that she can sign tonight.
Okay, so would the recommendation then be to entertain a motion to also move this to April 2nd meeting?
We can.
Or
No,
sooner?
not that far out, no.
Okay, what would be your recommendation?
My recommendation is gonna be at a max 30 days.
So, ma'am, when we actually go through this, we'll entertain a motion where this would be removed from that which we vote on for a period, and I'll entertain that motion.
All right, thank you.
Yes, ma'am, thank you.
Ma'am,
Yes, sir.
just one quick question. You feel like you'll be able to meet that deadline in 30 days?
To be honest, I'll do my best. I can't make a promise, but I will do my best to make sure I have everything. I know the car may take a little bit, but I'll do everything I can to have it done in 30 days.
Good enough. I just want to make sure we want to help you
Yes.
get it solved. We just want it solved.
Well, and so you know, we can still work with you administratively even beyond that period of time, if you know, if.
Because I'll stay in touch to make sure I know where I'm at, and so we can figure out if I do need a little bit more time or what I need to have done.
Yes, ma'am. So you'll stay in contact with
Yes,
Brian?
sir.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. I appreciate that. Okay, at this time then, I will do well. Does anyone, yes, ma'am.
I have one other, 2921 Moore Avenue, Sheila Arnold. She was here earlier, but she has complied. She has brought pictures in. So we will go ahead and pull this off of the abatement. Everything has been cleaned with her property.
So you'll pull that
Yes,
administratively?
administratively it's pulled off,
Okay,
yes.
okay. So we won't need to take, I mean,
We don't need to take
nothing will be
action.
amended on that. Okay. Then that's 2921.
2921 Moore Avenue.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, does anyone wish to be heard as to that public hearing 2020-07 grass debris vehicles? There appear to be none. I will close that public hearing. Okay, Mr. Stokes, do we have any unfinished business?
No, sir.
Okay. We have 3 resolutions to consider tonight. The first would be a resolution overruling objections to the abatement of identified nuisances, group 2020-07, grass, debris, and vehicles. This is obviously what we just had the public hearing on. I will ask for a motion for passage and adoption. At that time, a motion can be entertained with respect to moving 1930 Davis Avenue for a period of 30 days. So with that, is there a motion for passage and adoption?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there, would y'all like for me to just make the amendment since, I will move that 1930 Davis Avenue be removed from this group until the expiration of 30 days, at which time it will be placed back on a regular meeting agenda. Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Council discussion. Hearing none, will the clerk please call the roll as to my amendment as to 1930 Davis Avenue?
Councilmember Jenkins?
Yes.
Councilmember Roberts?
Yes.
Councilmember Smith?
Yes.
Councilmember Harris? Yes. Mayor Draper?
Yes, that amendment passes. Any additional discussion as to 2020-07 grass, debris, and vehicles? Hearing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Jenkins?
Yes.
Councilmember Roberts?
Yes.
Councilmember Smith?
Yes.
Councilmember Harris? Yes. Mayor Draper?
Yes, the resolution passes. The next item on the agenda is a resolution overruling objections to the abatement of identified nuisances caused by unsafe buildings, structures, or construction. This group 2020-07. Is there a motion for passage and adoption?
Mr. Mayor, I want Bruce to give you a little input.
Yes, sir.
Mayor, Council, you may notice that this looks a little bit different than it normally does. I made some changes to this form, which would be used only in the cases of dangerous structure nuisances. And the issue that we were trying to address is that from the point that you declare it a nuisance and order that it be abated, meaning that action be taken to, take it down or whatever is appropriate under the circumstances, some time can pass, and part of it, and one change I made is to make it clear that the city does these things as it's able to do, right? I mean, just when we declare something a nuisance, that doesn't then obligate the city to immediately follow through and demolish it. It's still private property and still the private property owner's obligation. To the degree we have the resources to get to it and do it, having to prioritize the city's needs, some time can pass. And so the concern has been raised that in some instances, the property can change hands in between the time that you declare a nuisance, order it abated, and then when you come out there, the city comes out there to demolish it, however many months later that might occur. And so Section 2 of this ordinance instructs the city staff to file what we call a Liz Pending notice, which is basically like, when you record a deed, you're recording it at the probate court to give everyone in the world notice that you own this property, okay? This is similar to that. You record it at the probate court to provide everyone in the world notice that there's a claim against the property. And so it would, if someone buys the property after this resolution is adopted and that notice is filed, then it's on them because they didn't check the records. So that's what that's why that looks different. That's what we're trying to accomplish. Is there any questions about that?
Any questions, Council? Thank you. Okay, is going back to 2020-07, building structures and construction, is there a motion for passage and adoption? Is there a second?
Second.
I will, for initial council discussion, I will move that 24 West 10th Street be removed from this list contained within Exhibit A, and that address continued until our second meeting in April. Is there a second to that amendment?
Second.
Council discussion. Will the clerk please call the roll as to that amendment?
Councilmember Jenkins?
Yes.
Councilmember Roberts?
Yes.
Councilmember Smith?
Yes.
Councilmember Harris?
Yes.
Mayor Draper?
Yes, that amendment passes. Any additional discussion as to the resolution proper? Hearing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Jenkins?
Abstain.
Councilmember Roberts?
Yes.
Councilmember Smith?
Yes.
Councilmember Harris?
Yes.
Mayor Draper?
Yes, that resolution passes. Our last resolution tonight is one authorizing the mayor to execute the construction agreement with the Alabama Department of Transportation and preliminary engineering contract with Sane Associates for sidewalk and streetscape improvements along West 15th Street. I will note, and I'm sure members have seen it, the fact sheet that was attached to that resolution, pretty self-explanatory. Is there a motion for passage and adoption? Is there a second?
Second.
Council discussion. Hearing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Jenkins?
Yes.
Councilmember Roberts?
Yes.
Councilmember Smith?
Yes.
Councilmember Harris?
Yes.
Mayor Draper?
Yes. Mr. Stokes, if there's any additional or other matters that may come before the council.
No, sir.
Thank you, sir. With that, I will move that we stand in adjournment. Is there a second?
Second.
Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Jenkins?
Yes.
Councilmember Roberts?
Yes.
Councilmember Smith,
Yes.
Councilmember Harris,
Yes.
Mayor Jenkins.
Yes, we stand in adjournment.